Greetings, YouTube. A new website has been launched. It's known as Detainee63.com. I'll post a link. It has a log of the interrogation of a detainee in Gitmo, referred to as Detainee63. The logs are real. They were written 7 years ago by the U.S. interrogation team as they questioned and tortured this man. Because that's what they did. They tortured him. Of course, in any civilized world, that would be illegal. You know, like in the U.S. The fact that these things took place is appalling. But the matter-of-fact nature of their record is quite frankly disturbing. I recommend you read them. I recommend you be prepared to be disgusted. But I think it's important that you read them. These tasks, as they were, these tortures, were done so at the order of the Bush administration, endorsed by the Bush administration, and fully supported by the Republican Party, which is why I consider the Republican Party to be a morally bankrupt political entity. The Democrats that were in power, by and large, the majority of them, were simply moral cowards as they sat by and let the Republicans do this to our nation's ideals. As I said, civilized folks don't torture. But one of the reasons they don't torture is that torture does not work. If you do not break the will of your torture victim, they either tell you nothing, or worse, they tell you disinformation, which leads you down false alleys, wastes your time, and does nothing to further your desire to have good intelligence. You can ask John McCain about giving your captors false information. He was good at it. And if the torture succeeds, and you break the will of your victim, then they'll tell you anything that you want to hear, simply to make the pain stop. I can guarantee you give me enough time and effort, and I could get anyone to admit to having shot Lincoln. Torture is an utter failure. U.S. governmental agents have said so. The Israelis know it's a failure. And if anybody in the world is going to use torture to get information, it would be the Israelis, and they know it doesn't work. So the only reason to torture someone is because you would like to hurt them. It's not going to come as any surprise, but I didn't vote for George W. Bush. But at least in theory, this thug represents all Americans, or at least did when he was in power. Which means these acts of torture, these criminal events, were done in my name. And that kind of disgusts me, sickens me, and makes me very angry. Because I didn't authorize the immoral act of torture, the illegal act of torture. I don't find it acceptable, nor should anyone else. For example, say, the UN. Now, I know there are going to be conservatives that see this video, because I'm probably going to pass it around to a few of them. And you are free to comment any way you like. I will not silence you. But if you support this torturous event, if you justify torturing a human being, then you ally yourself with the Republican Party and their absolute and utter moral bankruptcy. I hope someday that you see the error of your ways. I pray that you do, that you can join the progressives to try to build a better world, as opposed to maintain the status quo of the one we have at the moment, which is far from perfect, a world where torture is endorsed by the U.S. government. I'm not sure if the American nation ever had a moral high ground, but I can guarantee you that we've lost it. And frankly, I'm not sure there's any way that we could ever regain it.